Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this finds you. Thanks for joining, everybody. Good to see you. Is this thing going to come on here? Oh, there we go. There we go. Good morning, BSers, BS Landia. Holy cow. Roll call, right? Shambot, good to see ya. Ryan, Joe, good to see ya. What am I doing here? Flint, Roger, good to see ya. Tad, Hoos, what's up? Wayne. All right. Oh, we don't need that on. I got my sound coming through. All right, ready. Evening, Blake. 5x5. Blake's probably telling me audio, video, and good. Nice. Most excellent. Eileen, good to see ya. I hope you're done with the semester. Congratulations on making it through another semester. Takoi, good morning. Todd. All right. Old Faithful. Roger is Old Faithful. I could rely on him on showing up to the West Marches game if I have a vacancy. I heard he would play it. That's what I heard. All right. Let me grab. I'm feeling a little empty-handed here. Feeling a little out of sorts. I don't know what to do with my hands. Yes, there it is. Now I am complete. Aaron, good morning. Orcus Dorcas, morning. Good to see you show up on time, Dorcas. I'm like that Mr. Hand to Jeff Spicoli for Orcus Dorcas, I think. Laramie, good to see you. Good crowd this morning. Good crowd. You know, saying what you don't know what to do with your hands on a live stream video can be sometimes misleading. Well, indeed. Gabe Bibbing. Do you have a refrigerated case stocked full of vanilla Coke? So interesting that you asked that. I don't. So I have a routine. Wednesdays, I work from home. So Wednesdays I go and get vanilla Coke at the local Walgreens because it's the closest place that sells it. If they're out, no bueno. Then I have to make a trek somewhere else. I tried ordering vanilla Coke online through Amazon. And I thought, well, I'll buy by bulk. And I'm not kidding. It literally took 2 months. It was something completely and utterly ridiculous. And I actually put in for a refund. Like, hey, I didn't get it's never going to show up. Cancel my order. And then literally 2 days later, it showed up. And they refunded my money. And then I'm like, well, I'm willing to pay for it. It showed up 2 days later. And they just forget it. And ever since, I've never ordered it online. Because I figured, I might as well just stock it up, right? Stuff doesn't go bad. Rust remover doesn't go bad. Isn't it our time? Dorcas knows the deal. Fast times at Ridgemont High. Uno Nicolo. Just need some tasty buds. Cool waves and I'll be on my way, Mr. Han. This vanilla Coke can be a quest at times. Yes, indeed. For sure. All right, let's get underway, shall we? not to prolong the inevitable. Question of the day. I got it to work. Woo-yah! Describe a game experienced. Describe a game experience that changed the way you play or run. Describe a game experience that changed the way you play. It's a little, got to go deep on this one. This isn't looking over at the shelf. This isn't going to old, hey, my favorite game. A game experience. Some of you probably be like, I know it. I put my finger right on it. It's this thing. Describe a game experience that changed the way you play. I actually have not, I don't have anything on the top of my head. Like I'm thinking, what would that be? And I came up with the question. I don't even know. Because I just put it down. I didn't think about it. So that's how I roll. Thinking scripts and the things, not me. Brandon Barnes, good to see you, sir. Brandon says, Cipher system. How so, sir? How so? First time I played Fiasco. How so, Roger? How so? That is an experience, I have to say. It is, if you haven't played Fiasco, some people in the traditional RPG space will kind of poo-poo the Fiasco. I don't know why. Not necessarily. I'm speaking on behalf of the poo-pooers of Fiasco. But it is a different experience for sure. And it's great. Like, it is inevitable that it will be a Coen Brothers film. It just will. So if you haven't had the chance to play Fiasco, if you like more role-playing than role-playing, you're going to love Fiasco. All right. Describe, do I have a typo in there? Of course I have a typo in there. I was going to actually put in subscribe. So now the missing S in subscribe with this sign right here is now, it's moving. It's moved to the text below. That's the joke. It was planned that way, Joe Swick. What do you think? This is some like high-end production, big budget movie over here? Eileen says, Invisible Sun. Invisible sun, don't you run. Wash away the dreams, invisible sun. Don't you run. Invisible sun, invisible sun. Yeah, that's Chris Cornell. I can do it. Especially the soothe deck mechanic. I think I need an X card. The soothe deck mechanic. I must know more. I'm sure it's going to be a little lengthy to explain that, Eileen, so I will have to research that myself. Todd Crapper. After years and years of playing very detailed and planned out D&D's characters, I made up a fighter with 18 strength in the hopes I wouldn't die in 3 sessions. Ended up being the best character I ever played in the game. He developed during play rather than during creation. So now that's how I make my characters. Bravo, sir. Gabe says swords and wizardry with Matt Finch at Gamehole. Right there at that time. That's where it was. All right. I saw how old school is supposed to work. A place, go into it, get refereed. Dude, that should be on a shirt. That whole, like, that thing, Gabe, I should put that on a shirt. Like, I just put down, I saw how old school is supposed to work. A place, go into it, get refereed. Yes. Blake says, had a bunch of events and backstory. Realized it didn't fit in the ongoing story for the first 2 sessions. Changed what I had in mind to match what was ours. Mr. Hobbs, keep on the Borderlands with Eric the Hoffman. Don't hassle the Eric Hoff. Man. My first real experience with West Marches and the player-driven game. Isn't it, like, I'm surprised. I mean, not surprised. You know, the present company is an extreme level of player. Top level, bar none. So, but I am surprised at how quick some of these have come up. Like, you can definitely put your finger on those types of experiences that change the way you play or run. It's interesting stuff. Eileen is going to elaborate. The Soothe deck sets the tone of each scene in interesting ways with visual cues, similar to using a tarot deck. Ah, gotcha. Thank you for that. Brandon also says, but also chronicles of darkness and the way my storyteller really weaved the story. Kevin Saltheart of Saltlandia of Analytic Dice, him and Gabe, Analytic Dice podcast. Go check it out. Says, many moons ago in the 1980s, when my friend said, hey, everybody, you have a concept. 5 stats, 1 ability, and a few skills. And then we just played a D20-ish game with no rulebook and no rulings over rules. Let me rephrase that. No rulebook and rulings over rules. No rulebook. That's an interesting one. Hey, we're going to play a game session. No rulebook. No rulebook. Make it happen. Todd Crapper talking about my spelling. It's Midwestern school system, sir, here in the U.S. I don't know what you guys got up there in Canada, but Brandon says, as for Cypher having the player-facing dice and being able to focus on story, I think my improv skills were able to develop more. Very good. Very good. Very good. I don't know if that's accurate, Ryan, but Roger French. Concert shirts outside. They only cost $120. Grab yours now. Pop culture is what makes the world go round. Flint says, when I started DMing for teenagers, it made me want others to have some delight they did as I did at the table. It made me want to delight others. Come on, guys. You guys got to give me some slack. Come on. The chat's not 100%. You don't expect this guy to be. Come on. Mr. Hobbs, my first convention as an adult at GaryCon. Conventions could be pretty impactful. Gen Con definitely impacted me, for sure. I don't think it impacted me on how I play. It definitely impacted me on, like, meeting you, knowing you, interacting with you. Definitely one Gen Con and I probably have said it before, one Gen Con just was like, this is what I want to be around all the time, as much as possible. You know, the people, the games. I mean, Con Crash, like nothing else. So let's just not have Con Crash. Just have that, you know, be around gamers and gaming all the time as much as possible. Wayne says, 1980. All I knew was dungeon crawls. Played in a guy's Traveler game where he ran a backstory game for each player during character creation. Those sessions became the game. PC-driven games? Wow. Orcus Dorcas says, playing in DCC game with Brandon LaSalle. I saw the Matrix on how to run an exciting game. Changed my method for running games. it is something like poo-poo actual play all you want. But if you don't go to conventions and you have a single group and you want to find out, like it is no better time to find out how to run different games, see different game master styles. Back in the day, if there was a different way of playing, the only exposure you would have to that is if you had, I don't know, a couple game masters in the town you grew up. And they didn't come from the same family tree, if you will. Same RPG school of thought, right? Because most of it was passed down. Like, I played in this game and had a game master, and I've never game mastered before, and there's still a lot of that today. And I want to try my hand at game mastering, but how do I do it? So it's got to be very similar to how they do it, but I don't really like how they do this one or two things, so I'm going to tweak that a little bit. Maybe I'll change my voice when I talk an NPC, when I convey an NPC. I am not going to have everybody roll as much, right? Brendan, yes. It's all right. Shambot says, I used to be able to play in games that had overly adversarial DMs. I finally got the chance to play in another DM's game. I never realized until that point that it wasn't the DM's job to kill us. Yeah, that's an epiphany there for sure. Not only that, but I think it's also, if it's unfortunate that there are some styles of game mastering that if that's the first exposure you have as a player, it could literally drive you away from the hobby and say, oh, that's how you play D&D? No, thank you. And then knowing like the epiphany, the realization or describe a game experience that changed the way you play could literally be the second session you've ever played in a game in another DM with another DM, right? Because that first one was like, I'll give it a second chance with this other person. I'm not going to play with that one. Maybe it's them and not the game. And they stay and they go to another game master and they have a better experience for them personally. And then they stay in the hobby, which is fantastic. But that doesn't always happen. Not all those stories have happy endings. So Saltheart says, in that many moons ago game, I still remember I played a leprechaun about 2 feet tall with teleportation as my ability. Oh, too funny. Ty says, never been to a gaming con physically. Hey, Ty. That's unfortunate. I mean, if you can get to one, I certainly recommend it. I know it's not for everybody for a variety of reasons, but, you know, if it's something that you're interested in doing, I personally find it just awesome. I wish I could, like I said, I want to retire, get my mobile van Nomad mobile with super internet and just drive con to con to con. That's what I want to do. What are you going to do when you retire, Sean? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I wouldn't say that's what I'm going to do because I got a wife, you know, I don't know if she'd be keen on that. We'll see. I got a few years to work that out. We're working it out. Sean's riding the wave of gamers, indeed. I guess. Ooh, I don't. Maybe. So BSRCon Summer Edition. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. Tad Lackman says FFG Star Wars introducing me to the potential of non-binary resolution mechanics. And to think, like, that's not an old system, right? And some would say, well, you've been able to do that all along from like the D's and D's era, you know, but I understand where you're coming from, Tad. It's definitely like it's within the system. This is how it is worked. It's not, you know, optional, I guess. Eileen says, bonus round, learnt Shadowrun Anarchy at Gamehole. Very much great improv exercise. We were given a scenario and we're allowed to run with it. Very good. Laramie says, probably my first Gamehole, just getting to see some new GMs and players outside of our backyard. Yeah, pretty impactful. Did my message you spark this topic? It did not, but thank you for passing it along, and I'll mention it. Thanks, Ty. Jim, morning. Good to see you. And then Sean covered that thought in depth. Yes, exactly. That Sean. He's talking about the con experience, I'm guessing. Yeah. Or in Sean's game, it's his job to railroad you. Hey-o. Bringing it back. Cons with 10,000 people would put me off. Too busy. True. I mean, 10,000 is actually not that bad. 10,000 is not, you'd be surprised if you get a good venue that's spread out. So I went to Gen Con in like 2011. What was the first year? I went the first year, it was in Indy, and I think it had like 30,000 people. You would be surprised at how much room and space 30,000 people in Indianapolis at that time was. Now it's up to close to 70,000, so it's doubled. Now it's pretty obnoxious. GaryCon, same thing. So GaryCon is, I don't even know if they're hitting 10,000, but they're only at, I mean, it's a resort, limited capacity, and it's maxed. So if you max out a capacity at a convention and a resort and a hotel, yeah, it's going to be crowded, and it does, like, it's relative. Is what I'm trying to say. It's all relative. But again, not for everybody. Case in point, Blake. Ooh, one of those old Volkswagen vans that ski bums drive around the country with, but for gaming cons? Yes, Todd, one of those. Hell yeah, that's Eileen in my plan. Awesome, dude. Let's see, the ashtray is filled with dice and there's blank character sheets in the glove box. Yeah. Fuzzy D20, you know, and a D12 hanging from the mirror. You know the deal. My mind was filled with visions of the slick artwork on the side, outside of the van. A wizard for sure. Oh, a wizard van. You're talking about the wizard van. So the wizard, I don't know if you know this, Kev, but wizard van is a thing in the DCC space. I don't know if Hobbs is still in there, but he'll vouch for me. A wizard van is a theme in the DCC space. Like, well, the main 3-4 characters, I think, drive around in the wizard van. Yeah, it's a customized van, right, with the wizard on the side, airbrushed. Yeah, man. Yeah. I follow on Instagram custom van channel. Like, that's what I wanted as a kid. You know, my cousin had one. I was like, oh, I want a custom van, plush carpeting. You know, carpeting over everything, right? It's like a human cat tree inside. Who's good to see you, morning man. First time playing outside of my high school group. We had 2 regular GMs, and well, it was high school. After playing in a couple of them with other GMs, after playing in a couple games with other GMs, I realized that I didn't suck as a GM. That's perspective too, right? Like, oh, I went to a con game. Yeah, that GM, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay, right? And that it's still my motivation. Don't suck as GM. The number of people is less relevant than the density. Dragon Con has a ton of people, but since it's over so many buildings, it wasn't bad. Grain of salt. This one was over a decade ago, yeah. Jim, I don't know how many people were at GHC last year, but didn't feel crowded. No. And they're going to expand it again this year, just for you, so you know. So if you had any type of like, oh, it's kind of, so I could see it's going up here, you know, from the ages ago, they got it expanded into another couple, like at least one more building for gaming. So it's on the same grounds. You just have to leave one and go across. So I'm pretty sure. We'll see how that goes. Versus GaryCon 2019, which was much smaller by head count, but it felt more crowded. Yeah, everybody's packed in like sardines. That's the problem. Victor White, good to see you. Mine was playing with the Games on Demand crew. I know that. I know that what you're talking about, Victor. I never played with a group at a con and then hung out for meals and chat the rest of the con. It was like having my local gaming group get larger. So made so many friends at Games on Demand. Yeah, it's a great experience. My cat's trying to bury himself into China. You all right, buddy? Digging into China? Anyways, dogster. Good stuff. If you read if you read past the question of the day, give it one of these. Here we go. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit the down if you'd like. That's fine too. It's just engagement. They say if you put an emoji in the comments down below, that helps too. The problem is down below the comments they don't come to fruition until after this thing's rendered. All of my experience with D&D was how fast they can kill the party. You, sir, have had some bad experiences playing D&D. No wonder you're so jaded, Ty. It's all coming together now. It's all coming together, Ty. Hobbs, I was talking to Wayne about this van at GaryCon this year. Were you really? How about Wayne's van? Yeah. Can empathize with you, Ty. It's unfortunate. All right. Thanks for everybody chiming in. Some good experiences. Really much appreciated. Indeed. Wayne's van, party time, excellent. Woo woo, Wayne's van. All right. Let's get on with this. Let's get on with this charade. All right. Let's see. Starting off with this one. Well, of course. So I had to get the chat ready, and of course, then I forget to get the browser source. You'd think I would have this all down. All right. Okay. Let's try it again, shall we? Boom. All right. So Xenopus Archives, exploring the underworld of Holmes Basic. So if you've ever been to this blog, then you will know it. If you haven't, well, they have the table of contents to the 50 years of D&D. Oh, excuse me. Carbonation, man. 50 years of D&D table of contents book. So if you're interested in that book, and it's the 50th anniversary of D&D, and they're putting out this kind of history book. Now you'll know what the table of contents is. If you are on the fence and want to know, there you go. Check it out. Ty sent me this. If you're interested in Runehammer games, so Crown and Skull, as well as Easy D6 and Index Card RPG. This is an event that I think is going to be online, right? Completely free, around-the-clock online role-playing games from the Runehammer fan community. Okay, so there you go. Got some events on there you can check out for free. Oh, look at that. What? You can't beat free. I mean, minus the cost of internet, computer, ISP access, free. The event itself is free, Sean. Duh. Isn't that a great saying from the 80s? Duh. No duh. All right. Let's see. Next. Pay what you want, Red Hack Edition. There's a black hack, a white hack, and now Red Hack. 2E. You guys played this? Anybody get this? It's out for a few months, I think. Like, it says a few months, so it's probably the 2E version, right? So I guess my question would be, have you played the 1E version? You know it. So, suggested price, $5. You can pay what you want. Don't be a cheap bastard. Cough up $5. Cough up what you can, I guess. Sorry. Didn't mean to call you cheap. It's probably one way to alienate my audience. Get you deadly combat in a concise, complete game, 84 pages in total, which includes a player's rules section, GM guide, and pages of classic foes in the bestiary. It's an RPG where you have to think your way through encounters and hope the dice are kind. It's a game where PCs differentiate from one another through skills, attributes, and drives, and where there are rules and the GM makes the rulings. So there you go. I have not looked at the Red Hack. I may just pick it up and throw them a few shekels, if you will. I'll get you a link to it on the drives throughs. There you go. That's right, Orcus Dorcas. Red Hack. Still waiting for the Plat Hack, but, until then, it's going to have to do. It's roll high, by the way. And encounter difficulty, ED. Dorcas, looking at you. No, just no. Gonna go into some bundles. I should probably do a bundle segment. This one, ETU. If you're an ETU fan, Savage Worlds, ETU, East Texas University. There was a few streams that were running this, and I think even I think Chris Hussey was running this for a little while, or at least producing an actual play of ETU. That's like a bundle. It's like 130. It's a $135 bundle for 126. Some of these bundles are like 100 valued at 150. Get it for 25. Like what? Let's see. Moving on. Bundle. Traveler 4 fans. Traveler fans that want to try Traveler 4. Out on the bundle holding. Still got 2 days. 2 days of this recording being recorded May 18th, 2024. Next one, Cypher bundle. If I can get my mouse over there for the humble bundle. Humble bundle. So if you haven't taken advantage, I don't think it's the very first time Cypher has been on the humble bundle, but it's got the core book, quite a few of the settings. I mean, there's a lot here. So yeah, if you're even remotely interested in the Cypher versions of a lot of things, Monty Cook Games you're talking about $30 for all these things, and it goes towards the ACLU. Some of the proceeds does. So there you go. Win, win, win. All right, next. Rascal News. Demo for Tables of Fablecraft, the virtual tabletop RPG out now. So a VTT. It's the first chance. I thought I brought this up. Maybe it was in the works. You can get it on Steam. I think I brought it up like, hey, this thing's in the works now. It's available, I think. I think. It's not completely. It seems very familiar. Cooperative digital tabletop RPG that's vibrant, hopeful, and easy to pick up and play. Get started. I think this is the one where it's like the VTT and the game. That's it. Like one game, one VTT. Booyah. Turn-based strategic combat, complete adventuring toolkit. think it also states that they don't use AI art. So if you're interested in that, it's by Rift Reaver Game Studio. I will link the article, and in the article we'll have a link to the thing. And that's right. Eileen has worked on some of those products. She's referring to the Cypher system stuff, bundles. She's a big Monty Cook Cypher system fan, just like I am of Free League, amongst other things. So let's see. Other thing, Island of Dr. Moreau, starring, what's his name? Marlon Brando. Oops, I got to take that off. Sorry, guys. A horror romance TTRPG, a mad scientist and transformation on an isolated island. I should have probably put this at crowdfunding, so I think I just put it in the wrong category. But regardless, if you want to check it out, it's on Kickstarter until June 8th. Let's just see where it's at. $20,000 goal. It's at $10,000. 136 backers, 22 days. So it's halfway there. If you're interested in it. It is set in 2005, this game takes inspiration from messy online forum roleplay in the early 2000s, the transformative works of H.G. Wells' novel and other capsule games, cast-driven TTRPGs such as Yaziba's Bed and Breakfast and Sapphic World. How it plays. Each player can make their own unlucky islander while also sharing roles from the cast of 44 established characters. What's the IODM uses a deck of tarot cards or poker cards with every character represented by their own card. Drawing cards is used for action resolution and also injecting characters into scenes. Like the TTRPG, to change, IODM puts the focus on narrative integration with a simple system where the thinning deck will also represent players' dwindling options. You can always ignore the cards to succeed at a price. There you go. Interesting stuff. Well, I will put, again, link to the article, and then in the article you can find a link to the crowdsourcing campaign, crowdfunding campaign. Even though the movie did not do well with critics or at the box office, that movie scared me as a kid. Like, I get people love TMNT RPG, but not sure it's the same thing. Today's trivia, House of Pain, 90s hip-hop band, was a nod to Island of Dr. Moreau. Did they do Jump? House of Pain? Jump, right? All right. Keep her moving. Keep her moving, as we say in Wisconsin. Ope. Last thing, 4 great GM magazines. You guys know about these? I think they've popped up here and there. World Building Magazine. Friend and RPG Discord moderator at Auk works with World Building Magazine. World Building Magazine's free publication created by volunteer artists, writers, editors, passionate about world building. Free, you say? I am going to get it. D12 Monthly, I've seen this around. D12 Monthly started in mid-2021 by YumDM with a focus on D&D and D20 games. Example issue themes and topics include the holy classes of OSE, Arcanus, low fantasy magic items, planes and demi-planes, wilderness zones, guilds, and factions. Download all past issues here or use their links to buy physical versions from DTRPG. Let me know if you guys are buying any of these. I'm interested in your opinions. Mythic Magazine, From the creator of the solo RPG and GM emulator Mythic comes this mag. I did look at Mythic when I was doing West Marches, and I thought it might have some stuff in it, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe not so much. I'm sure it does, but I just... Issue topics include one-page creature builder, solo sandbox, mass combat, assembling the party, solo magic system. Now out of print. Alas, you can get back issues. RPG review. The magazine covers many different aspects of TTRPG's past topics and themes include cats, gamers of ice, I.C.E. or Iron Crown Enterprises. Housing, food, clothing, supernatural places, fudge, and fate. The team releases 2 to 3 issues a year. Get all the back issues there. I think that's it. And that's from Role Playing Tips. It's a good newsletter if you want. I was getting it. It puts out a lot of stuff. Just like not consuming all of the stuff for me. So I had to like tone back on my subscriptions. Jump around. There it is. I thought so. House of Pain. So if you go to the UW, Wisconsin football games, jump around. Yeah, it gets nutty. Entire stadium to that song. I think we moved to Earth one year. I think we did. Alrighty. I downloaded that song because I kept hearing the first 10 to 20 seconds played at hockey games. Oh, there you go. Who says, been meaning to look at WB Mag. Indeed. Did I put a link in there? I think so. D12 is great, but a review of it on my channel. There you go. Flint, need to put your... What's your channel? You can't put the link in there, so you're going to have to like type it in there. Ty says, I have a few Mythic Mag digital versions. Got it. Cool. Larry says, I love RPT, role-playing tips. John does a lot of good stuff. Yeah. He's been doing it. I mean, it's a lot of stuff he puts out there. SideQuest is also a great monthly zine. Plug for SideQuest. Oh, you're running the level 1 to 20 adventure you wrote? Interesting. See? I'm like a monkey. You just put it in the chat, and that's what I do. No. Or a minor earthquake because of the song Jump Around being played, I bet. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Let's see. Let's get on to, I don't know, probably this. Brit News going to Rascal. Rascal is kind of popping up on my sources. Ba, ba, ba. Wee! Wee! I've come to get down. I've come to get down. So jump around. Yeah, he's asked for that. All hail the Queen for the Queen's much anticipated second edition, now available from Darrington Press, the publishing arm of Critical Role. Hear ye, the second edition of the card-based storytelling game for the Queen by Deanna Jones Award. Game designer Alex Roberts is now available from Darrington, or is it Darrington? Darrington Press. Yeah. Card-based collaborative storytelling game for 2 to 6 players. I just listened to... who's texting me? Oh, I don't need that. Right? Okay. Never mind. Okay. Sidetracked. who is it with on Craig Shipman's Third Floor Wars that kind of brought up the Queen for the Queen? James D'Amato. He really sings praises for this game. So yeah, there you go. I have not played it. Full disclosure. There you go. Todd Crapper says, James D'Amato. There you go. So yeah, if you're interested, go buy it. Okay? We'll just go buy it, all right? Okay? All right. Todd says, love for the Queen. Todd, I'm hoping to find a copy of it at Can Games tomorrow. Todd says, I was fortunate to play a very early playtest of this with Alex back when it was still on cue cards. Everyone needs to play For the Queen at least once. There you go. There you go. Ba, ba, ba. Print World, EN World Print World? No. EN World Print News. Colossus Wake by Odin's Beard. An adventure for 3 to 5 third level characters who enter a lost valley warded by a powerful ancient magic colossus that has awakened and turned destroyer. 5th edition. That's for 5e. Next one called Cthulhu the Blessed and the Blasphemous by Sons of the Singularity. It's for 7th edition. Call of Cthulhu. 7-scenario campaign set in multiple cities in Morocco at the onset of World War II through to 1941. Drawing on Morocco's rich culture and history, each scenario can be played independently or as a full campaign. Very cool, $64. Next one, Chaotic Neutral, Green Dawn Mall, Damaged and Discounted, and Citadel of Ice by Exalted Funeral. Hardcover supplements and maps for OSE, Unique, and the Fantasy Trip. There you go. All right. Green Dawn Mall is not new, but a damaged copy at half price. PC search for what? Oh, also includes a 3-page Chick Track inspired story. Let me back up. Chaotic Neutral, 48-page comic book, 24-page adventure module of magic adventure and storytelling with an 80s edge for parties of 4 to 5 third-level characters. Also includes a 3-page Chick Track inspired story. Green Dawn Mall is not new, but is a damaged copy at half price. PCs search for a lost friend in a mall alive with oddities and terror. And then Citadel of Ice is an adventure of 4 to 6 veteran characters of 37 points or higher. That's the Fantasy Trip spiel. Transformers, Power Rangers, hardcovers by Renegade Studios. Neuro City, this was kickstarted, right? We went over with crowdfunding. So Neuro City Colorblind Edition, Hell Knight, and Warpland by Worlds of Quiroga. Unique 2D6 system, hardcover core rulebooks. So Neuro City Colorblind Edition is a dystopian noir thriller which seeks to challenge the PC's perception of reality and authority as citizens in a technological nightmare. Hell Knight, powerful demons, rulers of hell, have escaped hell and are now breaking. I think that's supposed to be wreaking havoc on Earth. I didn't mess that up. It says breaking. Even worse, an angel has come with an ultimatum: remove the deserters from Earth by dawn, or heaven storms the gates of hell. Warpland is a world twisted by the technology of an extinct civilization. Sky delivers mutagenic maelstroms that changed forever both the landscape and its people. PCs live at a new dark age, where academia and scientific pursuits end in a death sentence. Oh boy. Next, Cipher System Bestiary. 125 distinct creatures plus dozens of variants and the tools to create hundreds of interesting alternate versions. For Cipher System. Bum, bum, bum. You're going to go the rest of the day with jump around in your brain. Jump, jump. Love One Shot podcast got me into a lot of different games because of that podcast. Plug for James D'Amato. Shambot says, yes, I love that fresh setting for COC. Do you have it, Shambot? Exalted Funerals having a huge dent and ding sale. Must investigate. Brandon, anyone want to buy my Hell Knight Kickstarter book? Didn't realize it was a Mork Borg. It was Mork Borg based. Backstory? Question mark. That's Alex Roberts' podcast. She's still doing that, Tim? Do you know? I don't even know. I don't think it is. I don't think she's doing it. I thought James said that was not. I don't even know if it's still out there. Podcasts, if you sunset them, it's unfortunate. Like I was telling Fraser when he was here before, just put it up there, man. Spotify free. Doesn't even cost you hosting. Just stick it out there. Oh, Eileen, Cipher Bestiary is another project helped on. So cool. So cool, man. So very, very cool. It's from a movie. Can't remember what it is. But I also got the Neuro City Colorblind edition because I want to support that kind of thing, being colorblind. Oh, there you go. Alex and Craig from Third Floor is why I want to start an interview podcast. I did not hear the one with Alex for some reason. The only tricky thing with interview podcasts is you'll get the diehards that'll listen to every episode, and then you'll get folks like me it'll be selective. It's with any interview show with me. If there's guests, it's gonna be based on whether I want to hear the guest. Whoops. It's just me. Is it just me? Next. Next. Whooshoo. Crowdfunding. It's not crowd not fun ding. Or as Jack Black says on Will and Grace, it's not my in, it must be your in. Obscure TV reference. Don't worry about it. Not just you. Yeah, who's same? Sean, it's not just you, but there are other people out there. There are some hockey pods I listen to that I never skip, no matter who the guest is. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, do you. All right, crowdfunding. Let's do this. I mean, see how the other side lives in the first expansion for Blade Runner, the role-playing game, Replicant Rebellion. Now, I don't know if I said this. I was thinking of it, and I think I've said it in other circles. But when Blade Runner was announced by Free League, despite fan of Free League games, I did kind of wonder, how continuous of a play can you make Blade Runner? And of course, you get the starter set. It's a very much an experience to get all the clues in a starter set and give them to players. And if you make your own, great. I don't think you have to do it to play the game, right? Fair. But I'm okay, it would be fun to play Blade Runner and in that world, but it's not, I don't know if I would consider it cyberpunk, Maybe somebody you would argue with me on that. But far future, science fiction maybe, noir for sure, especially the original. So I was kind of like, I got it. I got the starter set. I've ran it at GameholeCon, and ran it online, and it was good. This may be interesting, right? Being replicants in the world of Blade Runner. So, anyways, they've got a press release, and Role Players Chronicle goes into some of the details of the game and what they're going to be doing. And then it's going to be crowdfunded. So it's going to be crowdfunded, which is interesting also because they don't crowdfund everything they put out. Like they put out a second scenario pack that you could purchase, and it wasn't crowdfunded. This one, I think, is probably more of a production. It's like I don't know if it's going to be its own source book. I haven't read it actually. Mammoth Expansion says launching May 28th, so literally 10 days from this recording. If you're interested in Blade Runner, this particular product, I'll put a link in the chat. It kind of goes into details around it, and then of course, they put out the press release. And I'm sure, as a matter of fact, I hope he didn't just like steal all this and put it into his article, but there's this so that you can learn a little bit more about it too, and then you could sign up to get notified. And it is going to be on Kickstarter from what it looks like. There you go. I probably won't get this. I probably won't get this because here's the thing. If I want to play it, I'll just go and buy it when I want to play it at that point. I got to do that. I can't be buying these games and having them sit on my shelf forever and not do anything with them. That is a problem. It's a Sean problem. We're dealing with it. Next one. Planet of the Apes brought this one up. So it's got some. This is at Comics Beat. So for you comic fans, probably have been to the site, maybe. Magnetic Press is the folks behind this game, at least the house, launching their pre-order campaign for the official tabletop role-playing game based on 20th Century Studios' world-renowned property, The Planet of the Apes. And we mentioned this before. Andrew Gasca is the person that's going to be designing it. And so if you haven't heard of him, he did Alien, the RPG for Free League. So he's the one that, and a few others, of course. And Andrew is typically at GameholeCon. He's been there for at least, I think the last couple of years at least. So I know some of you may be very interested in the Planet of the Apes role-playing game. I think even in this article. So it's like, and then the artwork by Bill Sinkiewicz. Sorry, Bill, probably butchering your name. 300-page volume contains all the rules, statistics, lore. It's going to be a beast. Planet of the Apes is, without question, one of the greatest science fiction franchises ever, says Mike Kennedy, Magnetic Press's founder and publisher. It will contain all the political intrigue while also giving players a vast and dangerous world to explore. Yeah. I think it also talks, here it is, game design. Here we go. Kind of rubber hits the road, shall we say. Game design is built on Magnetic's D6MV system, a modern update of the classic D6 system of role-playing rules originally made popular by West End Games with the first official Star Wars RPG, Men in Black, and Ghostbusters. And remember, last week, I think we talked about somebody putting out just the D6 system. Right? Was it Gallant Knight Games? Yeah, the mighty... Let us not forget the origins of the mighty D6 in Monopoly games everywhere. So yeah. Shambot says, "Whoop, super focused game. I feel the same way. I found that if you take old detective films from the 40s and 50s, you can convert those to some fun Blade Runner stories." That's a good tip. I could play all these games in Fate. Yep, you can. You could play all these games in D&D. You could play all these games in insert system here. Sure. Sure you can. I can, Sean. I know. You can. Man, I haven't thought of Elephant Men in years. Going to see the new Planet of the Apes Sunday. Good job, Ty. Shambot, actually excited for this. Sienkiewicz. Sienkiewicz. The artist. Planet of the Apes. Whoops. Sienkiewicz. All right. There it is. Oh, I'll just put this in the chat. This is just the sign up for Planet of the Apes. Coming soon to the Kickstarter. It says coming soon to Kickstarter, but this is posted on BackerKit. So, well, you know. What are you going to do? Just something to note there. Sure, it's not going to be confusing at all. Ba, ba, ba. See, I could keep doing that and not get hit with DMCA. Flint says, saw Kingdom of Planet of the Apes last night. Good flick, lots of callbacks. I haven't seen Planet of the Apes for so long. I was not a Planet of the Apes guy. I don't know why. Just never, I don't know. Just not. Kickstarter, Xerox, Kleenex. Maybe. All right. Striga, an exploration-focused RPG. An OSR game that focuses on exploration and player creativity with rules for journaling. You are extractionists. You decided to delve deep below the ground in the lost Spiral City. Many delve into the underground structures of the Spiral City, exploring ancient and magnificent places, remnants of a lost civilization, to find fortune and long-forgotten magical artifacts. Many only find death, often at the hands of giant warlock creatures named Strigae. 44 pages, exploration TTRPG, where you and your friends play as extractionists. It's going to go on crowdfunding May 23rd. If you are interested, rules light D20 system, encourages problem solving, fast character creation, journaling system, lots of random tables, rules for enemies and boss encounters. There's the little bit of the layout if you're interested in the aesthetics. It's going to be 15 days. Short one. One of them marathoners. Bing. All right, next to Haltestelle. Christopher Gray. I was going to bring this up, and then I went to his campaign, and it's canceled. So Christopher Gray, longtime friend of the Gaming and BS show. He is a kind of a quiet member of our BS Landia. He's done Temples and Tombs. He's done with the Apocalypse. I can't remember the Apocalypse game that he did. And a few others. Was going to do In Your Dreams collaborative storytelling card game. And it had, I don't remember the campaign length or anything, but he realized he wasn't going to hit his goal. So he was going to call it a day. You could read the update on the campaign. So I don't know much about this specific campaign, but I have backed Christopher in the past for some of his other games. And so he basically kind of said, hey, this isn't going to fund, but not to be all out. So he did, this is his ninth or 10th Kickstarter. So he's going to cancel. He said, I already spent time and hard costs producing this product. We were using Kickstarter as a way to recoup those costs. So since the project is canceling, you will not be charged. And you will be welcome to buy it at cost directly from drive-thru. So, he goes on to say, look, I didn't do it to make a lot of money or, wanted to kind of recoup his cost. And that was the point of the campaign. He was doing it for the passion and love. And so I think he's going to put it out there for people to purchase. I've just submitted the final draft. Should get a proof in 4 to 5 weeks, and then link to drive-through, cost and shipping. I'm not sure how easily you'll be able to contact you all following the cancellation, so I'm sending you all a private message. So there you go. Don't worry about us. We made this game because we love the idea, not to make a profit, he said. I do think it has a potential in certain channels, so it isn't dead. Failure is just data. We learned what works and what doesn't and can recalibrate. So there you go. If you're interested, go check this out and tune in. I got a sneeze coming on. Oh, excuse me. All right. Next, let's just cap this off with RPG crowdfunding news from EN World and see if we missed anything. So again, not sponsored or affiliated with EN World. Just, visit all these sites. Give them some love. EN World usually features crowdfunding campaigns that are in the last week or so of crowdfunding. First one, Heroic, the role-playing game from Zeg Media. It's on BackerKit. It's a Neo clone of the classic Phaser Rip system. So, hey, Phaser Rip fan people, there you go. Uses a D100 on a color chart superhero TTRPG set in the Bronze Age. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's see if it's funded, shall we? Since it's over there. 15,000 Canadian dollars. It's at 27,000 Canadian dollars. It is funded, so go check that out if you're interested. Next, Purical Labyrinth from Long Dog Games. Purical Gathering Darkness System expansion boxed set. $185 is the typical pledge. Wow. It's a Lore Master app plus the PDF and print versions, maps, tokens, standees, storage binder, and more. $124,000 of US dollars. It's a funded. Next, Hearn World. Who should get in on this? Hearn World, Kingdom of Candy. Not to be mistaken for candy. This is Candy. From Columbia Games. System neutral. You need some setting material, Sean. Or Candy Land. Gesundheit, thank you, Hoos. Appreciate it. Here in Candyland. Anyways, 50 bones will get you this book. 49. Let's not get crazy. It's 49. It's less than 50. Less than 50. That's how they get you. My dad would say retail. Retail's, $49.99. Hearn World books packs masterpieces of function, offering incredibly detailed settings. You need the most realized medieval fantasy world in tabletop gaming? Then you need Hearn World. $56,000 of a $10,000 goal. Kingdom of Candy. Deals with a recently freed feudal kingdom, one that's seeing prosperity despite rivals and war. Loose is all over it. Next, Black Powder and Brimstone by Free League Publishing. It's a Merc Berg product, core rulebook, so you don't need Merc Borg to play this. I had seen talks of this, probably brought it up on a prior stream. It's you can get the quick start on drive-through to check it out. It's grimdark fantasy, swashbuckling, gothic horror, gunpowder, witchcraft, and Merc Borg. It's 200 pages. They usually look pretty cool if you're in that aesthetic. This one is probably, I'm guessing, a little toned down. I don't see this as being like Cyborg or Merc Borg, or maybe probably leaning towards Pirate Borg. Solomon Kane Merc Berg. Sounds like it. Speaking of which, Solomon Kane is coming out by Savage Worlds and being revised. Just hint. Why don't I have that in there today? I will bring that up. Uno momento. Anyways, go check this out if you're interested. Yeah, look at it's 648,000 crooner at a 50,000 crooner level. That is approximately, I don't know how many dollars. It's funded. That's all you need to know. It's funded, okay? And it's Free League, okay? Just that's all you need to know. The Secret World for Savage Worlds by Star Anvil Studios. Source book, $30. Funcom's MMORPG, which I was not familiar with because this dude is video game illiterate. The Secret World has already come to 5e. With this campaign, oops, sorry, I got to take that off. With this campaign, it'll be available for Savage Worlds. It's a blend of urban horror, ancient conspiracies, and secret societies. $38,000 at $10,000 goal. Next one, A Tale of Two Seas, Monsters and Adventures for 5e, PF1, PF2, Legendary Games. Legendary Games. Cranky, cranky, cranky. Source book. Dude, there is some guy that they are feeding crack, like speed, and I don't know what else to put out as much as they do. Is that Papyrus font? I think that's Papyrus font. Anyways, $14,000 of a $3,000 goal. Atomic Age, post-apocalyptic role-playing system and setting. Dark Light Interactive. To talk about the day after cover on that sucker, right? An original D20 system core rulebook. D20 post-apocalyptic setting with a 220-page core rulebook with a 120-page bestiary featuring 160 monsters. It's a fully realized game, one with all the rules and options you'll need to play in the United States, where a series of horrible events have divided the regions, leaving them each under a separate power. For the engine, Pelgrim Press's 13th Age was cited as an influence. It's coming up short. This thing is probably not going to fund. Looks good, though. Not sure. I wonder why. There you go. There. Oh, and let me see if I can find the Solomon Kane 2nd edition, I think. Yep, here we go. Look at this thing, 102,000. There was also another one. Oh, Adventure Time, which probably isn't in its last week, but it has hit over $1 million, just as an FYI. But anyway, Solomon Kane. I almost picked this up at one time. The original Savage World setting was a beautiful book. I sent this over to my buddy Jeff because he's a Solomon Kane fan. Jeff actually has 2 big-ass Solomon Kane Puritan-looking hats. Like, they're freaking awesome. And, you know, he is not... Jeff he's read. He's a reader. I don't know if he's read much in his later years, if you will, but I know he was always a Conan fan. I did not realize he was a Solomon Kane fan, but, whatever. E. Howard. Yeah, $102,000 of a $45,000 goal. $43,000. So, I don't know who is doing this. Monolith Board Games? Is that who it is? Monolith is a company founded in 2014. Savage World of Solomon Kane. Did they do the original? Or was that wasn't Core Pinnacle, was it? Anybody know? So this is done in euros, hence the weird kind of funding level. That's what I thought. So this is being converted. Looks like it's going to be a pretty book. Miniatures. These guys have done 15 Kickstarters. They're based out of France, and they backed 43, just as an FYI. So if you want to know their track record, check out some of their prior crowdfunding campaigns. Let's see. So, yeah, it's and I didn't put a link in there. This has got 4 days to go, so you got to get in on this. Why did they not put this on Ian World? I'm probably missing out on a few kick-ass crowdfunding campaigns. I'm just saying. Man. Not covering them all. What's going on? Flint says I could play Captain Stickybeard in Canday Land with lollipops all stuck in my beard. I mean, I guess you could, unless I'm running that game. Solomon Kane Savage World is an odd one. Odd is an odd. It's crowdfunding only, not going to retail at all. Oh, seriously? Ooh. Is that a ploy? Like, are they just saying that? Because that would be, wouldn't be a fan of, I did not know that. Interesting. I better tell Jeff that. Like, hey, dude, you're not going to get that in retail. So if you haven't kicked in, that's really unfortunate. I would imagine, I don't know, one and done, I guess. I don't know. Hobbs, I think Solomon Kane is a reprint with little difference beyond art. Oh, well, they got to update it to the newest version of Savage Worlds, don't they? Like that. The other one was like first edition Savage Worlds, and then they had Explorers Edition. Now they have Adventures, right? Suede. The other one was prior something else. Explorers, I think, right? People yelling at the screen. No, Sean, you got it all wrong. But Hobbs says, but I could be wrong. Yeah, see, Gabe even hits it. Orcus Dorcas, man, they're really leaning into that FOMO. I wasn't going to back it. Now they're messing with me psychologically. That's how they get you. Solomon Kane has been updated to Adventure Edition. Pinnacle and Monolith working together. Got it. Still odd, it's apparently not coming to retail at all. If that's true, it was a grapevine chatter. They don't have to release it to retail. They could sell it direct. Like retail? Dudes, I don't know how local game stores are gonna do it. I really don't. There's so many role-playing games. What are you gonna put on the shelf? Man, inventory's gotta move. Monolith did the Conan board game and now doing the next Conan RPG. Solomon Kane is a ridiculously short campaign too. Huh. Yeah, I don't know much about Solomon Kane. I know the premise, right? But I don't know much, literature-wise. Not that I know a lot about Conan, but I mean, there's a couple movies out. I think there's a Solomon Kane movie too, right? But I don't think I've seen that. License might not allow for retail distribution anymore. That could be a condition. Oh, touche. Touche. Touche, touche. You guys are smart. I don't know what to say. Anyways, that concludes this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Hobbs says, I'd love to play. Somebody run it. There you go. Solomon Kane movie is streaming free on YouTube right now. Right now? Like this minute? That's what Gabe's watching. He's just listening to this. I'll have to check it out. Is it bad? Is it bad? I know it's like straight to DVD release, but I don't know. This very minute, he says. Yeah, well, that may be true. It's fine. It is what it is, Gabe's saying. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I don't know. I wish I could show you Jeff's hats. Like, they're just something else. They really are. It's a fun movie if you can ignore the purists. Fair. Yeah, he made it to the end of the show. It's like the John Carter movie. It's okay. Yeah. All right. Ending early. I'm trying to keep these down to like an hour, even less. Yeah, I can never hit the hour mark. I always drag on. So 2 hours, too long. Then there's like a handful of folks. Diehards, man. But I also want you guys to go out and do things, right? I think. So anyways. All right. There we go. I want to thank all these folks for being able to chip in a few dollars every month to support me on Patreon. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Oh. Yeah. Thank you for coming this week. Much appreciated. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for coming and keeping me company, interacting in the chat, correcting me, keeping me informed, keeping me on my toes. I really appreciate it. West Marches, not going to go into it, but things are going well. I think decent feedback, taking things, tweaking them a little here and there. Eventually, probably around the 10th session, I probably will find my groove. So I think it's going pretty well. It's not for everybody, but I think those that appreciate it for what it is. I'm glad. Thanks everybody who in that game has, played. Some are playing multiple times. So we've had 3 sessions. I think it's good. I didn't know how this would go. Each session is fully packed with 6 players every time. Had a couple that couldn't make it, but standbys, boom, slid right in. Not a problem. So there's folks that have explored, ancient catacombs of our lost, forgotten king. Folks tried to make it to Darlin Keep. They ran into some problems outside the keep. And then Midge's sheep. They found the culprit, started investigating that, and got dangerous. I'll say that. So good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for contributing to that campaign. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in checking that out, head over to the Discord. There's all kinds of stuff there. We got all kinds of channels and things dedicated to it. So playing Shadowdark is the rule system. All right. Yeah, get outside, enjoy the weather. It's going to be a warm one here in the Wisconsin. But anyways, go game, spend time with people you appreciate, and be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. And I hope to see you next week, 8 a.m. Central Time here, Saturdays. See you later.